Exactly. And we're live then. So we're back with Streets of Shadow. This time it's the Wrath of the Dead. The lovely players are here. They've just leveled up. Or something. One will be leveling up shortly. But we're going to dive straight in. Last session, a couple of weeks back, I believe 3 of the players went off to see the parents of the kidnapped children, while Mrs. Roscar went off to see Sherlock Holmes. And I think he had a job for the group, and I can't remember how much he explained to you, Becky.
I don't know, I wasn't paying attention.
He didn't explain that much. I've just written down, Lady Miriam needs exonerating for the murder of a friend.
Close. What he tells Mrs. Roscar to part back to your the other 3 is that Lady Miriam wants help exonerating a friend who's been accused of murder. He's currently been arrested, and he's waiting trial at the Old Bailey. If found guilty, he is going to be executed. He is on trial for murder and necromancy.
No, you don't.
So apparently, the person in trouble is Reverend Matheson, who's a friend of Lady Miriam, as we said, who was last seen in the presence of the murdered woman on a dock by the Thames.
Has Lady Miriam considered getting better friends?
Well, that is possibly one thing you could suggest to her. So he's arranged a meeting. Holmes has arranged a meeting for you to meet Lady Miriam. He's obviously busy. He's got no time for this. He's on a case at the moment. So he's going to hand it over to you for.
I don't know, how do we feel about playing second... How do we feel about playing second fiddle as Sherlock Holmes?
Oh, that's a funny joke, isn't it? Because he does play it's a violin, technically not a fiddle. But yeah, it's very funny.
You're welcome.
Well, I would say if Mr. Holmes feels that he is incapable of investigating this particular case, then I'm sure that we can prove that we are more than up to the task.
Pick up where he failed, you mean?
Well, yeah, I didn't want to put it in so many words, but...
No, we can fuck it up on his behalf.
Well, that's true. See, if we succeed, then we take the plaudits, and if we fail, then it's his fault for hiring us. There's no downside here.
It's a win-win situation. All right.
Well, maybe not for the wrongly incarcerated man currently facing the death penalty.
We cannot save everyone, Nathanial. No, okay, but seriously speaking, so just if I heard everything correctly, Phil,
you probably didn't, because I have a correction to make myself. The man is called Lawrence Holt, not Reverend Matheson. Lawrence Holt.
Holt. Okay.
I was going to say there was going to be a wonderful irony that the Reverend could save everyone by himself.
Okay. Is there? And we got an appointment made with this lady whose name I forgot already.
Lady Miriam.
Lady Miriam. Okay. Is there any way we're able to speak with Mr. Holt?
Yes, you could. You could visit him in prison.
Okay.
Did this Mr. Holmes not think to give you a more specific address than a dock on the Thames? I mean, which bloody dock is it? There's hundreds.
I don't know.
Lady Miriam will fill you in with the details.
Was that supposed to be me?
No, that was supposed to be Mrs. Roscar. But I don't know how to do accents. I tell you that all the time.
You're muted.
You're muted, thank
Well,
God.
that's okay. Neither do I.
Well, I hear doing a Tunbridge Wells accent is pretty difficult.
It's very
Just a point
cosmopolitan.
of fact.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about that I'm actually from Tunbridge Wells apart from Sherlock Holmes.
Mhm. So the facade is not lifted yet.
Not
Okay, so
entirely.
he's arranged for you to meet Lady Miriam at in Hyde Park.
Ah, yes, that very famous dock called Hyde Park.
It's not. Yeah, it's not obviously where the murder happened, but
Oh, so the murder happened on a dock.
the murder happened on a dock.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Well, the body was found on a dock anyway. So yes.
That's
So
good.
one a fairly cloudy day, you go to Hyde Park to meet Lady Miriam. As you arrive at the park, it becomes evident there's a lot of people in attendance at the park today. Some of you might have heard from the papers that there is a large protest march being organised against the conscription bill that's gathering pace in Parliament at the moment. This is the conscription bill that moved on from the first games you played with the about the Crimea War.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of people, and there's a lot of people in the park today. So you're waiting by the bandstand, waiting for Lady Miriam to turn up, and obviously you'll recognise her from the pub when you saw her first time. And this massive demonstration is getting bigger and bigger. More and more people are appearing, and the skies are getting darker. It seems like there's going to be some sort of downpour happens. You've heard that there's some bill posters up, and people around you are talking. There's Tommy Atkins and Frank Miles are going to do some fiery speeches. And you might be interested to hear that even Karl Marx is making a trip down from Highgate to attend the rally.
Why? I'm playing the game I want to play.
Sorry.
You
Muted, Phil.
There's a lot of people in attendance to hear these speakers. The Metropolitan Police are ringing the Hyde Park just in case there's trouble, and they are what's your cat doing?
being a dick.
Yeah. There is a subtle reminder that the government stands ready to contain any violence that might spill out. And the message is being reinforced by 3 Wolverine riders circling overhead. You make me a presence and wits and perception rolls. Everybody, no dice, no black dice.
Perception. All right.
Why does this keep happening to me?
That's a 3.
It depends what it is.
I have 7 dice, and I do really badly at these at the moment. I got 1 success.
Okay, Archibald's on top of
Just
that.
to remind me, Phil, is it reroll 1s or reroll 6s?
Reroll 6s.
Yeah, 1 success then.
Okay. Becky?
Had 2.
2. Okay. Archibald MacCormick. You're standing there watching the police in the distance, and you notice a well-heeled gentleman talking to some of the police, and they seem to be giving quite deference to him. And you recognise Lord George Mace, who's in charge of this operation. He is sort of like not secret service, well, they've got a special branch. He is there, and you also notice he's wearing a matching top hat and coat. That as the rain starts falling and people start getting wet, that he remains completely dry. This hat and coat is just not getting wet at all. It's not even just like waterproof. It's just the rain's just not touching it. As
Dick.
As you stand there waiting for Lady Miriam, you see the crowds just sort of like people just sort of like seem to part, and an alleyway through the crowd appears, and you can see Lady Miriam dressed in red walking towards you.
Through the party.
Through this crowd of people, just down this alleyway. The crowd just seems to part in front of her. They've stepped back and forward and create this path. And in contrast to the bedraggled crowds, who's getting wetter and wetter standing in the rain, muddy, and Lady Miriam is positively immaculate. She looks completely dry and immaculate in this scarlet taffeta off the shoulders day dress she's wearing, and she carries a lace umbrella, a black lace umbrella with black gloves and a hat, and the outfit is absolutely perfect, and not getting damp, wet, muddy or anything. And as she passes, the cloud seems to close in again behind her. So, based on your witch perception rolls you've just done. Oh no, this has got 3 black die. So, witch perception again with 3 black die, please.
Okay. Although I think I have a feeling as to what it is you're getting us to do.
Shut up.
No, I won't shut up.
1.
Sorry. On the black dice, do we count the 1 on the 6s?
Just the 6s.
Just
But
the
you
6s.
don't
Okay.
re-roll them.
Thank God. Okay, so I made 2.
2 successes.
Becky?
1.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, she Mr. MacCormick and Mr. Chamberlain, you notice that she's has a worried expression on her face as she approaches you.
Am I the only one hearing this?
Nope.
No.
I can hear I can hear that.
What's that?
It's a buzz really bad. The person who can't hear it is the one who dealt it. It's continuing to buzz.
Is it? Okay. Is
I stop now.
any better?
Yeah. No, it's kind of there, but mostly gone. Ooh.
We definitely need some new headphones.
Did that happen or not? Did it stop?
Shut up.
No.
No.
No. It's not continuous as it was before.
Yeah, it's just
but it's still
like
there.
Did it stop when I unplugged my headphones then?
I'm afraid
did
so.
briefly,
Tell that was talking, I think. Couldn't tell.
Mimi funny.
Okay.
Oh.
Is it okay to carry on, or is it that bad?
It seems to have stopped now.
At the moment,
Okay.
it's okay.
No.
Okay. I wonder what caused that then.
Well, I've long
Static
held the view that
interference.
it's going to be either your dodgy Cornish internet or your microphone sockets knackered or something, because it's always you.
The microphone's all right. I mean, don't think it's the microphone. Let me see, where was I?
Kill yourself.
So she saunters up to the adventure, up to you, your group, and she greets you all by name, having met you the night.
That's happening again. Sorry,
Yeah,
Phil.
it's happening again.
No.
Hang on a second.
Ah, relief for one's ears.
Mm-hmm.
It did seem to happen when he said when he leaned back.
Yeah. He just needs to get a new cable or new headphones. They're just getting worse.
Because the moment he leaned back, it started again. As if he was pulling on the cord or something.
Don't know.
Such is life.
Well, no, such as dodgy cable.
And yes, a very, very nice War of the Worlds reference in the comment.
You're welcome.
Oh, I thought that sounded familiar, and I was like, oh, yeah. No, Nathaniel. No, Nathaniel, no.
Yes, the Reverend played by Phil Lynott in the 78.
Oh, that's who Phil Miner is. Yeah.
David Essex played the artilleryman, and Julie Covington played the Reverend's wife.
Thank you, IMDb.
Thank you. See, I happen to know I got the album.
Ronnie MBD.
RBMD, absolutely.
Okay. Anything?
So far, so good.
Yes, I do agree.
Okay. What do I get to? Oh, yeah, she comes up to you.
Yep.
She comes up to you and greets you all by name. And they say, and she says to you, well, if you wouldn't mind, I think this might be better in quieter surroundings. So if you would like to come in my carriage, I will take you all for tea.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Well,
that'd be delightful.
And she
Nice to shoot it.
she leads you to the gate in the nearest gate in the park, and calls her carriage, and asks tells the driver to take her to her favourite restaurant, tea shop. And once there, she greets the maitre d', who seems to know her very well, and you get shown to a private booth.
In what part of London are we as we speak?
You've moved you're quite close to Hyde Park, but it's, you're in a very,
Like
very upmarket,
Kensington sort of thing.
yeah, you're very upmarket part of London.
Yeah.
And there's a few people in here. It's very hushed, very quiet. She said this is a very, very quiet, very pleasant place. We can have some privacy here.
Then join me.
Very good.
But she's seeming a little bit flustered, distracted. Do any of you have the beautiful or handsome talent?
No. Hopefully Nathaniel's got something.
I am handsome. I have natural charisma.
Yeah, I got natural charisma.
Okay.
Nothing more than that.
Finally playing a character more suited to me.
I am blatantly underdressed for the occasion.
She makes sure she seats herself between Mr. MacCormick and Mr. Chamberlain, and she seems to concentrate a lot on talking to those two.
Don't say it.
She opens a Chinese fan and just gently cools herself. She said this is a very bothersome, dreadful morning. She says a very close friend of mine has had the misfortune of being arrested for a crime that he hasn't committed, a most heinous crime.
Do you like names?
Mr. Lawrence
Who do
Holt.
you like?
You might have heard of him. He's a sculptor. Part of my group of friends. I'm certain he's innocent. He wouldn't have murdered anybody.
What are the particulars of the crime?
Well, this is where it gets a little bit strange. It seems to be an unfortunate woman of the street was murdered on a dock by the River Thames, and it appears that Lawrence was the last person to be seen in her company. And the police, doing a usual sterling job, have arrested the first person they come across instead of investigating it properly. I'm sure you might have seen it. It's in the daily papers today.
I am sure I will read upon those. I must ask a most indelicate question, but I'm afraid if we are to try and save your friend, we must ask this. Does Mr. Holt frequent such ladies?
No, he has no reason to. I don't see why he would do anything like that.
Is that why you think he's innocent?
Sorry, Becky, I didn't quite catch that.
Is that why you think he's innocent?
Yes, I know he wouldn't do anything like this. He's a very gentle, kind person. He's a very spiritual and a very talented man.
I don't mean to sound rude, Lady Miriam, but are you saying that your friend didn't know about this lady whatsoever?
I've not spoken to him since he's been arrested, but I'm sure he wouldn't have anything to do with such a woman.
I see. Obviously, we would have to speak with Mr. Holt. I would assume most pressing, if you could provide us with the name of his solicitor, I'm sure that we would have to make a formal request to visit him. Unless, of course, he is currently out on his own recognizance, in which case we would be able to visit him at his home.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I can give you that information, she says.
Wait, what?
And if you have if you come up with any news, you can contact me at at my hotel, the Marionette in Piccadilly. So, do you have high society, Ronnie?
Not as a talent, no.
Okay.
Oh, I'm surprised at you.
Yeah. So
I got society friends as a privilege.
Oh no, I've got high society as a specialist. Yeah.
you have.
Specialist,
Okay.
yeah.
So if you can make me a wits high society roll, and everyone with 3 black die, and everyone else can make me a wits general knowledge roll.
Oh, okay.
And general knowledge. Again with 3 black dice.
Yes, please.
Oh, right, okay.
Right. The good news is I got 0 on the black die.
Okay.
The bad news is I got 0 on the other dice as well.
I got 2.
1.
1. Okay.
0 to cancel out. God damn it.
2. Ah. Okay, so whether Mr. Chamberlain wasn't actually paying attention when she said this, but Mr. MacCormick, or Dr. MacCormick, you know the Hotel Marionette is a rather expensive hotel favoured by upper-class patrons
Oh, no.
and is known for its fine French food as well as its discretion. So yes, it's quite a bit of money to stay there.
Shut up. Shut up.
Lady Miriam, let me see.
Shut up. Try Imogen.
Lady Miriam says she tells you all that she can recall about the death.
What was that?
She says it was an attractive woman, and she squeezes the hand of Mr. Chamberlain at this point, and
Ask where Harry left. Oh,
adds that the death was in all the morning newspapers. Yes, and that his home and studio is in Red Lion Square in Holborn.
He's probably. He wants to
So is he currently incarcerated, or?
He is being held at the moment. He's being held in the.
What? And not money.
Let me see. He's going to the Old Bailey. So he would go into Newgate Jail if found guilty. So he's been, yes.
2 woodchucks.
Yeah, Newgate prison after conviction. So he's in the Middlesex Sessions Houses, waiting trial.
Yeah, we'll make a
Oh,
form.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, House of Detention, which is a 3-story prison in Clerkenwell, part of Islington.
Okay.
It's, so he's there.
Make a formal plea to his solicitor. We'll do that in a minute.
And tell me, madam, what's more important to you? Clearing his.
Sorry, you're saying you just cut
Sounds
out.
gone. Yeah.
You just cut out. Yes.
No. There's nothing. You've gone.
You're
What
gone,
is
Becky.
happening today? StreamYard is not behaving.
It just ended. She was a couple of words into the sentence. It just went.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, that was you.
Do you want to head to a break? We'll sort it out.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear us, Becky?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Come off a mute and see if it's changed at all.
Okay,
Yeah, we can hear, you can hear the
We
typing.
can hear you typing. Yeah.
You must be back.
Yes, Firefox gave me a message saying it had lost connection to the microphone.
Oh,
Right.
It came back when I
Oh,
put
well,
it.
we're back in play.
Could you
Thank
tell
you.
me, is it more important to you that he tastes freedom again or that he's proven innocent?
I was rather hoping that one would follow the other.
Well, not necessarily, you see. It might be possible to do things to the trial to prevent him from standing trial. Won't necessarily mean that he's proven innocent.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What Mrs. Roscar is trying to say is that is it more important to prove the innocence of your friend, so having us or Sherlock Holmes to investigate on the matter, or to get him out and hiring him a lawyer? Because given your savoir-faire, one might assume that you have plenty of resources to afford a private investigator or a lawyer on your own.
We're the private investigators, by the way.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes is being paid, I assume.
I tend to deal in favour, she says. I don't tend to.
Oh, you're not my type.
I don't tend to pay for things in the traditional sense. But if you needed anything, if you needed to procure something or a free service, such as a painting or a box at the opera,
Well, you really don't.
introductions to people, then I could facilitate you in that way.
I could do with a full-time babysitter for my children. It's getting more and more difficult to give them excuses as to why I'm not around all the time.
Lots of labour come harvest time.
Well, I'm sure we could
I-
arrange some of those things.
I would certainly be interested in being pointed in the direction of some very nice works of art.
Sounds to me like you want us to work for you for nothing.
Oh, not for nothing. I'll return the favour. I will
Harry,
pay you back.
Jacob just left.
Is that because you're broke?
Sorry, what was that?
Is that because you're broke?
I
She's definitely not
have,
broke.
I have some pieces of jewellery that are worth quite a bit of money.
Right, so you're broke.
Are you living out with your means, Lady Miriam?
Well, no, I get by quite well, actually. Thank you. It's,
Whilst you are undeniably charming and, dare I say, rather exotic to the eye, that's only going to get you so far.
well, like I say, you tell me what you would want as payment, and I will arrange it for you.
How about you marry Nathanial, then Nathanial can pay me?
Oh no, I don't think I will do it. It's never something that's appealed to me.
Question, Phil. When she came through the crowd in Hyde Park, did we all see the whole kind of parting and the rain not hitting
Yes, you
her and
did.
stuff?
You did, yeah. Everybody saw it.
Okay. Okay, so Lawrence is going to do something a little weird, but he has his reasons. As you're kind of, talking about marrying Nathaniel after and whatever, he's going to lean across the table and maybe take like a salt shaker or something, but specifically lean towards Miriam and try and discreetly smell her.
Are you doing a Gimli? I just want a lock of your hair.
No.
Dude.
My theory is there's this whole
You're
thing
agreed.
of necromancy. Could she actually be one of the dead?
Okay, so you lean across and you grab a condiment or a cream or another biscuit or something, whatever it is you're going for.
Yeah.
And you inhale, you get a good lungful, and you smell some really sort of expensive perfume, but you get none of that sort of decaying flesh smell or anything like that.
Okay.
Oh,
I think
God.
you've broken Giorgio.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But it could have been interesting angle.
Well, I was thinking because if the crowd all parted, that means that she was being controlled by something potentially. It was a theory, but now that's been ruled out.
A very funny one. Thank you very
Mhm.
much.
You're welcome.
And she says, and when you've solved the case, and because obviously I have full confidence in all of you, when you've solved the case and Lawrence is free, we'll all have a big meal at my hotel.
How
On
about
me.
your ability to part crowds? I'll do it for that.
I don't really know what are you referring to?
Well, the magical effect you have where people get out of your way.
I'm sorry, I don't.
You really
believe
don't like
that
parting with things, do you?
I don't really know what you're referring to.
Lady
I've never
Miriam.
noticed.
Lady Miriam, as you approached us in the park today, I think we can all agree that the crowd that had gathered parted not in a way that might be considered to be random, but seemed to part with all the grace and serenity of dancers,
It was just
moving in time to a tune we could not hear.
it was just some people being polite. Surely, I think you're making far too much out of that.
They were being
Your,
polite with almost beautiful synchronicity.
Your
That was a
outfit
word
as
for
well
Monday
as
night.
just written as the hot. Your outfit as well. It seems to be remarkably dry given the weather outside. And he makes the point of looking to Celia, pissing it down.
Oh yes, it's very nice, isn't it? It's it's a little bit special, I must say.
Would you care
I
to
want the
elaborate
clothes
to your
off your
investigators?
It has a let me see, what's it called?
Does it come in tweed?
Wow, you could actually, if you wanted to. It's been treated with a rain guard spell.
Okay, 12 out of 15. I'm getting
Ah,
With the what?
a
Rain
rain
guard
guard.
spell.
Okay. I am so sorry. I can still wrap my hand around the idea of a dwarf living over a table and sniffing people. I just pictured really vividly. All right.
Good.
Thank you again. Seriously. All right. Okay. So she got a magic dress that repels water and people. So that answers our question.
She's a magnet.
Giorgio was fairly close to it, where he said that she's rich and insanely hot. I mean, you're close. She's not rich in monetary wise, but
She appears so.
she appears so. Yeah. So say she's staying at this really expensive hotel.
And one wonders how she's paying the bill.
No.
Do you ask that?
No, Nathaniel.
No. One is
no.
wondering. One is not asking. One is not
Or
inquiring.
answering. It's just wondering.
One is merely musing over the possibility of a line of inquiry.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
So Lady Miriam will say, "I'm sure you could get to
Buzzing's back.
see could get to see Lawrence very easily, and the lawyer, and obviously people of your talent could obviously get to see the police inspector."
Okay.
Well, I think
Flattery
we
will
should-
get you some places.
We should most certainly speak to the officers in charge of the case. I think we should speak with Mr. Holt. We will have to make some. Have to talk to his solicitor.
I can't remember what he was called, but it's in the paper.
How many days before the trial?
It's only going to be a few. We'll say it's going to be 5 days.
I'm not too worried if we can't clear his name for start of trial, as long as we can clear his name before the verdict comes in.
Yes, let
What
us.
before she gets put in a debtor's prison?
We can barge into the courtroom all dramatic-like at the end, brandishing
Damn right.
papers.
My lord, we must be heard.
Objection! I've always wanted to say that, actually.
It says that Lawrence has been practicing in the front of the mirror in the morning. Objection.
Oh, yeah, he practices lots of things to himself.
So, what we thinking? Two of us go to the solicitor. Two of us go see the police officers.
Why are we going to see the police officers again? Is that for the body?
Find out their end of the investigation.
I was going to say, because surely the body will have been moved by now.
Just get their notes on the investigation. need to speak to the solicitor for a couple of reasons. One, we probably have to go through him to actually speak to his client. Secondly, and here's hoping we can get round privilege at this point, although I don't think that's as big a thing. If this guy does actually frequent women of negotiable affection, his lawyer, the solicitor, is more likely to know because he's bound to have told him to aid in his defense.
Yeah, I generally do not believe it's the case already to split up.
I would certainly.
I mean, it's up to you, but I don't really see the case as of yet, given we have a decent amount of time before the trial begins. And then
I would
again,
certainly
it's really important that we reach our goal before the verdict.
Yeah. What we thinking then? Lawyer, solicitor, or police?
Yeah,
Let's
police.
go talk to the
first and
culprit,
foremost.
I say.
Yes, agreed. We can get more of a testimony out of him.
Yes,
see what
but I do believe it's kind of important knowing what the police is looking after, so that we can inquiry the culprit.
Hopefully, the
They will only know
solicitor will
so
have
much,
some idea.
however.
Hopefully, solicitor might have some idea of where the police are going with the investigation.
We could
I hate
we could potentially canvass the area for witnesses.
Yeah, after we get to know what the area is,
Yeah.
because a dock on the Thames is not really.
Yes, he does seem very sketchy on the detail.
We can go there during the day. Not everything has to be done at night.
See, the fact that she's sketchy, I don't know whether that's because she's got something to hide or whether she honestly doesn't know the full story.
We haven't really asked her about the necromancy angle either.
Where are you getting that from?
Isn't
Well-
that what Holmes said to you?
There
Murder
was
and necromancy.
Yeah, we were
Yes.
told those were the charges: murder and
Yes.
necromancy.
Oh,
there seems to
Right.
be some confusion about whether the young woman was whether the young woman had stopped moving after her death.
Jojo's, in part 2, there's a scene at the start where
I see.
it might be a really good shag.
I'm sorry. When did we just start discussing types of carpet?
Or when they continue to flail around convulsing after death. Only had sex them once myself, but I didn't half feel it.
Lawrence can't help but look around at this point just to see if anyone else has heard. Like other tables.
No, it's very discreet. Everyone's not
Yeah.
paying any attention to anything else that's going on.
Don't go for that.
Also, we do actually have a point. You have a point, guys. I'm asking Lady Miriam directly. What does she know about the charges that were pressed? I mean, murder. Okay, we sort that out. What about the necromancy part?
He knows nothing about any sort of necromancy. He's never given any sort of indication or interest in anything.
I
of that
thought
sort.
you said he was a reverend. Doesn't he eat a dead person every
sorry.
week?
No, it's
No, that was.
my mistake. It's
Yeah, that
Lawrence
was
Holt,
that was
sculptor.
Phil's mistake.
But you did say he was spiritual.
Yes, he is. Yeah, because he's an artist.
A sculptor.
Yeah, they're artists too. Just like drummers are also musicians.
No, they're not.
Oh yes, it's all pointless extras to me. There's no real function. But it's interesting the parallels between a sculptor, somebody who makes a statue of somebody, and a necromancer who, if I remember rightly, brings dead people to life. Perhaps somebody found a use for him.
You think he's being used? You mean?
Yes, possibly. If you're convinced that he wouldn't do it himself.
Totally convinced. Well, yeah, I can see you've got ideas already. That's excellent.
At this point, I somewhat sort of slightly shake my head with the idea, oh my God, what are we getting ourselves into? The person hiring us is completely amazed that we're asking very basic questions.
I mean, it's pretty obvious that she knows stuff, but doesn't want to reveal shit. So we might as well leave it at that. Try to figure out some threads on our own, and then come back to her.
See, that's what you've done to us, Phil.
What's that?
That's what you've done to us. Our immediate go-to thought is she's got to be up to something.
Come on, the players, it's going to happen
I'm
anyway.
not saying that. I mean, just she's full of shit.
Come on, you play masks long enough. There's got to be somebody full of shit in a murder mystery.
Okay, we'll have a break there then.
Okay. See you in 10.
Bye. Okay. So how's the game coming then, Becky, the new one?
Oh, well, there's 97 countries to sort out units for. So, which is less, because it was 104, but it turns out the most you can put on a state selector in Tabletop Simulator is 99.
Oh,
So I amalgamated some and made it 97.
fair enough. I like your ideas for the colonies as well. That's quite a good idea.
Mm. It's a lot less units for them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there supply carts and supply trucks
Yeah.
separate? Okay.
Yeah. But not the same as before.
Ah, thank God. Damn supply carts.
Right. So you don't have to do the supply cuts to do building anymore. It's when the units attack the user supply,
They need
and when
supply.
they take a hit, they go down to 0 supply. And if they get hit where they've got less than 3 supply, then they are destroyed. So when a unit gets hit or runs, has done a lot of attacking and has run out of supply, you need to bring them back to your supply logistics.
Yeah, you're going to see some turnover at the front, then, aren't you?
That's the idea, yeah. Actually have to rescue units type thing, because you don't want to put a supply cart in the front line, it will get destroyed. So it's kind of like a headquarters now rather than anything else.
Instead of captured.
They'll just get wrecked because you have to put each unit into the front. There's no non-combat unit anymore.
Mm.
Each unit gets attacked because of the new battle system.
So has everyone decided where they're going then next?
I think we should go and have a visit to that guilty man.
Okay.
Oh, she seems to mistakenly think he's innocent.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense to go to him first, get a testimony, see what he confesses to.
And exactly what was going on.
Yeah. And then
Why
fill the
police
gaps.
think it's him.
Yeah. It depends as well if we talk to just, regular beat cops who found the body or, detective or something.
Yeah, you know who the detective in charge is, but don't find the beat cops. You probably need to actually look at the police report for that.
Mm.
I don't know if you get access to that one.
I suppose it depends on how good my, card would work. My warrant card.
Okay. Yeah, forgot you had that.
Yeah, I do have a warrant card.
Okay. So you've decided to go and see the accused.
Yes.
The guilty, yes.
So you take a trip across town to the House of Detention. Like I say, it's a 3-story prison in Clerkenwell. And it's designed to hold those waiting for trial. So as a whole, as it's just a holding prison, the security regimen is pretty minimal. And you're allowed to see prisoners. That's not a problem. And you're shepherded into a small waiting room, and the guard leaves to go and retrieve the prisoner you want to speak to. After a short time, the door is unlocked, and 2 prison guards come in. One comes in first, then the prisoner Lawrence, then another prison guard, and then a young woman in her 20s. The prisoner is put in a chair. opposite you, and he's looks like he's been treated quite harshly. Possibly this is due to his status as necromancer, but he's still wearing his own clothes. They have been. His jacket's been taken off, but he's got his own trousers and shoes on. He's wearing a straight jacket. His hands are bound behind his back, and it's a guild-made straight jacket. The guild is people that it's almost like magic police. The prison guards leave him in the chair and nod to the young lady and leave the room and shut the door. Okay. He's obviously in bad shape. He's once sort of like quite cherubic type of face is scarred. He has a black eye, and other bruising from his interrogation. And he's sort of like looking down and he's rocking his head to and fro a little bit. The young lady says, I am Dr. Felicia Gordon, she says. She's rather striking appearance. She's a human. But she's obviously taking great care to sort of downplay her appearance. She keeps her hair pulled back in a bun, and she's wearing a blue equestrian uniform, complete with blue trousers and calf boots. She has a Yorkshire accent. She says that she's there just to make sure that Holt doesn't try any necromancy, and to just to behave like she's not there.
Sit in a chair across from him, across the table from him.
Yeah.
Mr. Holt, my associates and I, we've been asked by Lady Miriam to look into the circumstances surrounding your incarceration here. We're investigating the incident.
He looks directly up at you, Chamberlain, and says, "I didn't hurt her. I didn't." He's got a wild look in his eyes.
Sorry.
I'm sorry if I'm allowed to point out something. What kind of evidence is there for our friend here regarding his necromancy charges, and why is it an officer here while the interview should be secret?
I've got a feeling she's a psychiatrist. They've got him under lock and key.
I'd just like to assure you that none of us are, in actual fact, in any way deceased.
She says, I'm here to ensure that he doesn't commit any necromancy.
Yeah, we got that. But is there any evidence for the accused here to be an actual necromancer, rather, or is just charges? Because otherwise, you could leave the room, leave us within, as it is our right.
The state of the body, the condition the body was found in, has led the police to that conclusion.
Whilst the police may very well believe that the state of the body indicates some level of necromancy was involved, the fact is, Dr. MacCormick here rightly asks the question, what evidence do you have that directly points to Mr. Holt? You do understand that in this country we have the presumption of innocence. This man is innocent of the crime of murder, and he is innocent of the crime of necromancy unless proven by a court beyond a reasonable doubt.
Out I assure you, he's been a model prisoner. But
I'm sorry. Do you smell that?
Right.
I smell some unconstitutional wrongs in this
Not
room.
being funny, guys, but the reason we are in actual fact here is to talk to this guy, not her. I know
Yeah,
she's
I want
pretty,
to-
but if you could put your dicks away for a moment, I'd like to talk to him.
Yes, I'm trying to point it so far away from her that I want her outside of this room.
Dr. Gordon, whilst I fully understand that you are required to keep an eye on your patient, we are here for his benefit. Your presence is not required.
I totally understand your feeling in this, she says. But as a member of the Sentinels, I've been assigned for protection. My testimony is completely inadmissible in court, so anything you say here, I cannot repeat in court at all.
Well, we would be far more comfortable if you could perhaps hear it from outside the door.
I'm afraid I cannot leave the room.
Well, we'll take him outside the room then, if that gets the conversation started.
Very well, we will talk with Mr. Holt. However, you will not intercede or interject at any point.
That's not why I'm here. I'm not here for any of that. I'm here to protect the society against necromancy. That is all.
Something does puzzle me, though. If you protect necromancy, then you are therefore an
Protect
expert.
society from necromancy.
You knew what I meant. Protect from necromancy. Then you would consider yourself an expert in magic, the magical arts as well, yes?
Yes.
So do you detect any sort of, I don't know how it works, but magical aura presence around him?
No, not currently, no. He has
At
been,
all?
He has
Ever?
been. Well, I've only known him since he's been here. Since I've known him, he has been drugged to suppress any magical ability.
I'm looking.
Then
So what
surely
you're
he's
saying
absolutely
is,
fine.
not only is he no threat because he's drugged,
No.
therefore much harder to get to any truth out of him anyway, because he's also, as aforementioned, drugged, but also he's not actually magical as far as you can tell. This seems like an awful miscarriage of justice, and I haven't even started asking questions yet.
Dr. Gordon, before we talk to our client, I must ask one thing for my own edification. Should the client be found not guilty, as we presume him to be, does your organization make any sort of reparation for your mistreatment or your maltreatment?
I'm afraid we're not attached to the Metropolitan Police Force in any way. We are.
I didn't ask what the police force is. I asked what your organization does in circumstances where you have drugged and bound a man you suspect of necromancy without firm evidence and is then found not guilty.
It's required by the law that necromancers are kept in these conditions. Obviously, the police have been a little bit heavy-handed in their interrogation. I believe that was the Thames police.
I sit back in my seat. I'm making a mental note that I'm going to find where the headquarters of this organization is, and I'm going to half-inch every fucking piece of decent art out of them.
Take their boots as well. They're probably worth a lot.
I'm going to take the lot. If it's not bolted to the ground, it's off.
All right. Since
But
we
you,
don't
but be
see
assured, you can proceed as if I was not here.
But
Oh,
you
believe
are
me, you are
here.
not here.
Could you
Mrs.
at least
Roscar,
turn around and face the corner or something?
Would that help?
yes. Mrs. Roscar, you seem keen to ask Mr. Holt questions. I
The only one that is.
concede the. Well, I was about to, but I got waylaid by the fact that she wouldn't. The doctor wouldn't leave the room.
She's not allowed to.
Perhaps if she can't leave the room, then we can at least butter him
Gagger.
up a little bit.
Drug her,
No.
gag her,
No,
put her in
butter
a straight
him up.
gagger.
Can
Get
we
some
just
water
ask
for him, something.
Oh,
Mr.
yes.
Not Reverend Holt, what happened?
He sort of like he replies in snippets and phrases, and he says you pick up such things as Miriam, I'm sorry, rookery whore, Bacchus. I didn't hurt her. He just keeps repeats several times.
What was that second one? Something hall?
you're
Rookery
muted.
hall.
You're muted, Phil.
I mean, you're
Again,
muted.
you're muted, mate.
I'm trying to
Sorry.
lip read you.
Rookery whore.
It's just like when you're getting bored.
As in the derogatory term whore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's calling her a chess piece.
Certainly seems to have made
I have heard that they can be used in certain sexual circumstances if you're inventive enough. Completely from a friend, obviously.
I never thought I'd hear such thing from Mr. Clarkson.
Like I said, from a friend whom I met once and never again.
What kind of porn are you watching?
Well, the one that that can take things diagonally. You set yourself up there.
The missionary position strikes again.
I didn't even know there was a porn chess joke.
There is now.
There is always porn. I think we broke Becky. I didn't think it was possible.
No, I have won.
Mr. Holt.
Oh dear. Okay, so
Mr.
anyone
Holt.
wants to? You can roll presence conversation very hard with 6 black die.
Bloody hell.
Presence and
Conversation a skill?
Conversation. It is.
It's not a basic skill, is it? Oh, beg your pardon. I've got it in
Didn't have it.
I've got it in specialties. I do have
Ooh,
this.
yeah, I got that too. Wait, how many
How
black
much
dice?
is that dice
6
for?
black die. You can.
6.
6 black dice. Are
That's
you
a
for
whole
real,
one.
mate?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll these, but this is really pointless.
Remind us what the fate pool does again.
0.
3.
Sorry. What?
What does the fate pool do? Like, what can we spend fate
Oh,
points
you
on?
can spend to get rid of black die. 3. Wow, not too shabby. That's a success.
Minus
Given the
1.
session, I'll be out of all successes till 2 sessions from now.
2 successes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So
Your black dice don't scare us.
No.
So from his background, you sit and you question him gently, and from his snippets and his pieces, you put together that he feels like he's betrayed Lady Miriam, whom he appears to love very deeply. He sees it as a failing on his own part that he's actually here. It also becomes apparent to you that he does know the victim in the carnal sense.
Yes, I got that from the profanities.
And he calls her. He offers that Laura was alive. When he keeps repeating wrath, pronounced wraith, after he starts babbling incoherently again, Dr. Gordon then suggests that you allow him to rest.
Could you perhaps not drug him quite so much so that we can actually talk to him?
It's an unfortunate side effect of the drug that it does give people who are getting headaches. That does sort of. Well, that's sort of the point that it blocks their ability to think straight, and they can't form the spell in their mind.
Right,
But
and can't
does
defend
happen.
themselves and prove they're innocent.
Come-
As
Lawrence-
mentioned, no
Lawrence-
evidence that he's a necromancer yet, is there?
While you're squaring her up, Lawrence is going to look at Archibald and give him a look, as so to say, is there something you can do to help clear his mind a bit?
Well, there might be. She says the condition of the body when it was found has led the police to the conclusion, I believe, that there was necromancy involved.
Yes, you keep saying it that way.
Yes, as I stated, even if you can make that claim, that does not mean that Mr. Holt was responsible for that necromancy. You are proceeding as if he had, absent of any evidence.
Who is this
Yeah.
Bacchus he keeps talking about?
Yeah.
Do you know
Also,
him?
You're asking.
I'm asking the doctor first of all, yeah.
No, I'm afraid I don't know who that could be.
Solicitor.
He seems in a very befuddled state.
The solicitor or the real perpetrator?
No, we need to speak to the solicitor.
yes.
That's a given. No.
Yes, where is the
Uh,
solicitor actually? Are they running late?
Sorry, sir.
Where is this solicitor?
Oh, the solicitor is in, I believe.
Well, I'm asking Felicia in a very facetious way as to where he is or she is.
He is in Houston Square. He lives in a house near Houston Square.
Yeah, that's where we're going
Houston
next.
Square. That's a very American name.
Very well, Mr. Holt. Have faith, my friend. We will get to the bottom of this.
I have a couple more questions for the lady in the room, not Mrs. Roscar. I'm sorry. I don't recall the name of the doctor. You mentioned it, but I don't recall it.
Yes, it was Dr. Felicity Gordon.
Felicity Gordon. Okay. Dr. Gordon, I don't know how familiar you are with the case, but we would need the name of the prostitute and where the body was found.
Well, I'm afraid you will need to talk to the investigating police officer. We honestly do not get involved in aspects of the case.
Okay, you just beat up prisoners then. Okay. What's the name and where is that?
Okay. The name of the officer in charge is Detective Inspector Henry Anson. Anson.
Can I ask, have you dealt with any of Mr. Ranson's cases before?
No, necromancy is not a common crime.
What, Mr. Ranson only does necromancy cases? Is that what you're saying?
No, I only get involved in necromancy cases.
Right. I
No,
see.
Dr. Gordon was lucky enough that being necromancy, not that wide among populations, she was able to actually capture the only one in the whole lot of London. And she doesn't need no evidence to prove that. Okay, I'm out of here. Otherwise, I'm gonna get really
I'm
Um,
becoming
I-
fairly unconvinced at your lack of caliber,
Yeah.
Dr. Gordon. Do you have any certificates or papers to show your legitimacy, your qualifications?
She
Yes,
got this boot. She's
Address
just
of your
modern enough.
headquarters.
yes.
So we could double check your credentials.
I'll have to look that up a second. What's the guild?
And yes, if I do look like I'm smiling like a hyena, looking at a meal, looking at a soon-to-be meal, then yes.
Yes, you're welcome. But also, Lawrence just he equates fancy pieces of paper with experience and stuff. It's
No,
very
quite
much
right.
that.
Quite right. Saves me having to hunt them down later.
Well, yeah. I'm also making Phil work.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Perhaps bring them to the next session if you don't have them on your person.
Yes, I will do. Yeah, but
Um,
she is qualified.
Before we leave, Phil,
hmm
the prison. I assume there's some sort of sign-in book.
Yes.
You know who's signing, who you're coming to see.
Yeah.
You can leave a 1-star review or something.
No, I was going to see. No, I was going to see if anyone other than his solicitor has come visiting.
Yeah. So as you sign out, you can try and read the book upside down.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay. Well, give me wits perception for whoever's attempting that.
Yeah, why not? I'll have a little look through as well with you.
Black dice.
Fuck off.
Oh, this is more like it. Yeah, any black dice, Phil?
No.
I got 2.
That's just
then.
as well. That stops.
3.
3. Okay. So you get Inspector Henry Anson, Sergeant Harrison Grace, and a Sir Thomas Rathbane.
Ah. There's our wraith.
There's our wraith. And if there's ever a villain name ever invented, it's Sir Terence
Yeah, hello.
Rathbane.
Thomas, but yes.
He may as well be wearing black hat and a huge mustache that he can twirl,
And live next to a railroad track.
and an extra railroad track that's very conveniently near his house, and a whole length of rope.
Doesn't give any sort of. There's no address list anywhere, is there? It's just name and.
It'll be
time
just
sort of
name,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be easy enough to find. There can't be that
Still,
many.
I'll make a
Can't be that
mental
many.
note of his handwriting.
Okay, it's a very, very flowery sort of like.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
But just in general, like what it looks like and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
Given my high society, would I know the name? I'll roll on
Possibly.
it if you want.
Yeah, if you roll on it,
High society wits.
our society wits.
Any black die on this?
No.
One success.
One success. You might have heard. Might have heard of him, but you don't know him.
Yeah.
He's a wealthy barrister. That's all you know.
If this turns out to be his lawyer,
Then he's fucked.
So where are you going to go next then? So you've got the
Did the
police.
date and time of that check-in, did they all match with the officers? Did he come in with them?
No, he didn't. He came in with. He didn't. The inspector and the sergeant came later.
Yeah, I appreciate two policemen to beat up a drugged man.
Yeah.
Just
It is
wondered
the
if he
Mac.
was part of it.
But he came alone.
Okay.
I think we need to talk to his solicitor. We need more background.
So what's the name of the solicitor again?
Sir Thomas Rathbane.
That
Sorry.
we know for definite that's the name of the solicitor.
That is the name of this guy in the book.
Right.
But you mentioned that the lawyer had
Who's a
also
solicitor.
signed in or something. So are they the same person?
This is the guy that signed in.
Right.
We need to go and see him.
Oh, goody.
But maybe we need to speak to the police first.
I would be more comfortable doing that.
Same.
You speak to the police first, okay? So over to Scotland Yard then.
To embankment.
Yeah. See, we are asked to speak to Inspector Hanson. So you get told by the desk sergeant that he is a very busy man. He has a number of protest-related crimes to deal with at the moment from this morning.
It would have been easier for us if he hadn't committed any.
I'm sure the inspector is an extremely busy man. However, as the case that we are working on involves a man's life, I would say that would take a little bit of priority, wouldn't you?
I will see what I can do, sir. If you'd like to take a seat in the waiting room.
Of course.
Lawrence is going to scan around. He's really hoping, I have to say, take a seat in the waiting room, that there's not like a ticket system.
It's not.
Okay, good.
Note to self, gonna half inch Scotland Yard and all.
After a short time, a hoodoo investigator comes over to you. So he's like a halfling, and he introduces himself as Detective Sergeant Grace. And I believe one or more of you wanted to see the inspector.
That would be more of us. Yes.
All of you would like to see the inspector. Okay. Well, if you'd like to follow me, please, ladies and gentlemen. And he shows you upstairs through past several offices into a office that's stacked around with paperwork and files and all sorts of stuff. He says if you would like to, there's a couple of chairs in the room. So he said if you would like to take a seat, I will get some more chairs. And he disappears for a second, comes back with a few more chairs, not the most comfortable ones you've ever seen. And he says the inspector will be along shortly. And just as he's saying that, the door opens.
We thought you were shortly.
I give her a nudge.
In walks a human man, and he says, "I'm Anson. You wanted to see me. Is this something to do with this morning's riot in Regent Park, or?"
Oh, no. Riots only start when the police charge the crowd. No, not about that at all. Or do you know who did that? That was you guys. No, we're here about the murder. The necromancy murder.
Oh, that one. Well,
We've been
we've got the guy for that.
I don't think you did.
We've been tasked by an interested party to review the investigation The interested party seems to believe that you've got the wrong man.
An interested party. Yes, that is an interesting development. Who would that be?
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, I must admit that's taken me rather by surprise. Is Mr. Holmes interested in the case, is he?
He is indeed.
Mr. Holmes is
A little
How do you-
inundated.
well. He has many calls upon his time, and has asked us to look at the particulars of the case on his behalf.
Well, he says, in that case, he moves around the other side of the desk and sits down, opens his drawer and takes out a cherry wood pipe and starts packing it full of tobacco. He says if Mr. Holmes is interested, then obviously we'll render whatever assistance we can.
Be most grateful.
Fantastic.
But obviously, you must appreciate we are rather overworked today. And he starts lighting his pipe.
Well, I'm sure that you have the necessary reports, medical reports, reports from the scene of crime, and so on.
Bit of
If
forensics.
you could furnish us with those, so that we may read them and ascertain.
Certainly, I'll tell you what I can. The body currently is in a clinic in Pennington Street in Wapping. Under
It's
the care
always
of
whopping, isn't it? Bloody hell.
under the care of a Dr. Johansson. The young lady in question was called Laura Pete.
Can you repeat the name, please?
Which one? Sorry, Laura Pete.
Laura
P.E.
Pete. Okay.
That's the yeah.
What was Miss Pete's occupation?
She was a streetwalker. I'm afraid her fellow streetwalkers were able to identify the body and fingered the suspect.
Who are?
Right. Now, the suspect they've chosen was her last client who actually quite liked her. So, what I'm
Correct.
interested in is what evidence was. Well, actually, I'm not so interested in the evidence that binds him to the events because I know there isn't any. What I'm more interested in is what did your investigation find that convinced you it was actually him?
Okay, so well, if we take the case from the beginning, I think it's a probably good
Please
place.
do. And I take out my own pipe.
Early in the morning, a navvy on St. Catherine's docks saw an obviously disorientated woman collapse. Her hair was matted, her slip dress clung to her as if she just emerged out of the water. When the navvy approached, he realised that she was a corpse and summoned the river police. Arm was assigned to the case within a couple of hours of the body being discovered, and we quickly discovered there was stitching on her chest, that she'd recently had surgery, and on her head. And the fact that she was walking around suggested she was undead. She'd come back from the dead. She was obviously the surgery was quite extensive. Organs have been removed.
Right.
It's not unheard of for necromancers to use most accessible corpse and stitch it up for any imperfections. Dr. Victor Johansson did the autopsy and discovered that organs were missing. In addition, there were many small charms inside the cavity, suggesting a magical ritual.
Can I just ask, when the autopsy was performed, had she stopped moving around?
She had by that point, yes.
What had caused that?
Well, as we're saying, we believe there was a magical ritual because of these charms inside the body, missing organs.
Yes, but what I just didn't quite understand, as you described it, she was walking around when a navvy saw her, and then
Yes.
she was autopsied and she wasn't walking around. So what happened in the
Well,
interim?
The navvy saw her collapse onto the dock.
Ah,
Went over to her and found her in that state.
What sort of time was that?
Early morning.
so in actual fact, the last person to see her alive was actually the navvy.
Mhm.
Well, she wasn't actually alive at that stage. We don't.
Well,
She'd
so
obviously
he
been dead
says.
for some time.
Mobile then.
So
The
the navvy
last person to see
says.
her mobile was the navvy. True. That is correct.
Did you investigate this navvy as a possible perpetrator?
Well, he works on the docks. He's on that dock every day. He just started his shift. So he'd come straight from home. We interviewed his wife, and she saw him leave her home. It seems unlikely that he'd be able to commit the crime and reanimate the corpse in time for the police to arrive in such a short time. And,
How long does it take for a corpse to be reanimated then normally?
I believe it has to do with, it depends on which ritual are being undertaken. It can take several hours.
Have you
Obviously,
perhaps thought of getting an expert in, since you talk of charms and missing organs and so on? Because timings here is quite important, wouldn't you say, Inspector?
that's the guild's job.
Well, so far we've not deemed them to be particularly helpful, hence me asking you.
Or
Okay.
competent? So, what is the actual evidence as far as you are concerned? And yes, I agree with Mrs. Roscar. We're talking about actual evidence, that there may not be enough for a court. But in your opinion, what is the direct proof that links Mr. Holt with this crime?
Well, as I was saying, after the autopsy by Dr. Johansson, that would have been the end of it there. Had not Dr. Johansson's nurse, Miss Reed, a former prostitute herself, not recognised the deceased as a former colleague that operated around Seven Dials. We took a stroll with Miss Reed through St Giles, and last evening, and returned and learned that Miss Pete accepted an invitation from a well-dressed gentleman in a hansom cab that another prostitute recognised as Mr. Holt.
So quite literally anybody.
Sorry, what do you mean?
A well-dressed man in a handsome cab, that could be anybody.
That another prostitute recognised as Mr. Holt. When we confronted Mr. Holt at his home address, he pleaded his innocence and claimed he'd never left his studio. But I could tell this was a lie. When pressed, Holt admitted the lie, but would not confess to what he'd been doing that night, the prior evening.
That is because he was embarrassed that he'd been knocking up a whore, isn't it?
Well, piecing together these facts, it seemed obvious that Holt had nefarious plans in mind for the young lady.
Right.
He chose the prostitute, killed her, practiced necromancy on her.
I think you jumped several steps there.
Yes, I posit this hypothesis to you. I wonder if you would accept that there might be grounds for this hypothesis, this version of events. Let us say that Mr. Holt did indeed initially lie to you, that he did in fact spend time with the victim, engaged in carnal fun. We've heard that Mr. Holt is a very spiritual man. Is it possible that he felt a certain amount of Christian guilt over his lust and felt ashamed for that lust, which is why he was reluctant to admit it?
It's certainly possible. It's also possible that that sort of guilt might even lead him to take out his frustrations on streetwalkers.
Yes, here's the interesting thing about possibilities. We can all talk about possibilities, Inspector, but what evidence do you have that he did the latter and not the former?
Well, he won't say where he was that night. He won't say what he was doing that night.
One could
Is part of that because he's drugged up and got beaten up and can't actually think straight at the minute.
Yes.
Could we ask that you take him off the drugs so that we can have a conversation with him where he's actually able to piece words together?
Well, obviously, if the Thames police did rough him up a little bit, obviously we can't take too many risks when arresting an unlicensed necromancer. It's unfortunate sometimes, but sometimes necessary.
Yes. And I must ask this question just for my own ethical stand. Do your officers actually understand the concept of presumption of innocence?
Well, that's what the trial's for, isn't it? To determine his innocence or not.
No. The trial is to determine whether he is guilty or not. His innocence is assumed.
Well, you'll get a fair trial. And
but your men beating upon him being straitjacketed and drugged, one assumes that due to your wish to protect the public, that he will continue to be straitjacketed and drugged during his court appearance.
That is the procedure with unlicensed necromancers. Yes.
Rather imprinting upon any possible jury that he is assumed guilty beyond all doubt and leaning a certain bias on the jury. Not exactly what I'd call a fair trial, is it?
It's the law as it stands at the moment, I'm afraid.
Yes. Definitely.
I also believe that Holt's actions suggest a cult. So we are investigating other possible members of this cult.
Okay, so let me tell you what I'm making out of this half a day of how do you say that, stomachache, for lack of a better word that I cannot come up with right now. So you work a couple of hours for a crime, for a murder. Okay, let's say a murder. You find the closest thing you can get to an accused. You pick him up, show him up in jail, and have someone else beat him over.
It's his name on the sign-in slip. He did it himself.
Oh, right. Okay, nothing. My bad.
I'm afraid he was like that when the Thames constabulary arrested him. They were got a little bit overexcited during the arrest.
I am so mad right now. I'm so fucking mad. I don't know if I missed that as a player.
What's that, sorry?
In that case, I'm sorry. Where was the body found wandering off?
Okay, the body was found at St. Catherine's Docks.
Yeah, that's right. You said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Early Early yesterday morning, a navvy on St. Catherine's docks saw an obviously disorientated woman collapse. Her hair was matted and her slip of a dress clung to her body like she just emerged from the Thames. When the navvy approached, he realised that she was a corpse and summoned the river police.
And where was she picked up? By the fancy man in the fancy cab?
Yes, St. Giles.
Oh, that's right.
Last evening and learned that Miss Pete accepted an invitation from a well-dressed gentleman in a hansom cab that another prostitute recognised as Mr. Holt.
Okay, I'm opening up a map of London because I don't know anything.
Do you have the name of the lady in question who identified him?
Okay.
We would be we would wish to interview her along with the navvy.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, so the navvy we'll call Thomas Eckhart, and the prostitute I can't think of anything, but at the moment Polly Nichols.
Somebody you don't like from school there?
No, Ripper Victim.
Also, I don't know, again, me as a player, if I'm looking stuff correctly, but it's quite a long way from St. Giles to St. Catherine's Docks, isn't it?
So she must have floated downriver.
Yeah.
Well, she was actually on the dock when the navvy saw her. So, but it did look like she got out of the river.
Well,
Yeah, 'cause she was wet.
pulled herself out.
Okay.
Yeah, we might as well have a talk with Lady Pete's colleague.
Do we have Lawrence's address?
Lawrence's address, you did, I believe. I think Lady Miriam said it was.
I might have
Address and
oh yeah, something in
studio
Lime
address.
Square.
Yes, something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go there.
And
Red
if I
Lion Square,
recall correct,
Holborn.
Holborn.
Holborn is near to St. Giles as well.
Oh, is it near?
Mm.
Fuck. How do you write that? Holborn.
HOLBORN.
HOLBURN.
Holborn. So HOLBORN.
Holborn. Because English is weird.
Yeah.
Holborn. All right. Oh yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, presumably Lawrence would know that and would just release
I'm
the
sure
others.
he would, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure all of you would probably know that, actually.
Yeah.
And the residence of Mr. Holt is the same as the studio, or the studio is somewhere else?
No, it's the same as the studio.
Okay.
What was the studio thing? Sorry, I think I might have not been here for that.
That's the studio. That's Holt's studio, and his home where he lives is both at Holborn.
Right.
Right.
Okay. I was in a sculptor studio. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. His home and studio, Red Lion Square, Holborn.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to go there.
See if it's been disturbed at all.
Amongst other things.
A few leads.
Because we are facing that there's always the possibility that we're entirely wrong. The inspector's right, even if he's got the right solution from the wrong evidence. But
I'll say this much: if he's right, he's done it by pure accident.
yeah.
Does the word Bacchus mean anything to you, Inspector?
Bacchus. He puffs on his pipe for a second while he ponders the name. I don't believe I've heard of Bacchus before. What about you, Grace? He says. And the sergeant says, "Oh no, sir. I don't recall a Bacchus."
Well, we can look into it for you. Obviously, we're doing so much for you already.
Is it something we should
Should have looked at, yes.
keep an ear out for?
It was one of the words that the man you've got incredibly drugged up and can't form coherent sentences was saying.
Well, this
This is why we'd like to have an actual conversation with him, you see, so that actual evidence could be investigated.
you need to get some sort of court order for the guild to stop the injections. I'm
I
afraid.
take it you've had to deal with his solicitor,
Yes.
Mr. Rathbane.
Sir Thomas Rathbane.
Is that his solicitor's name?
That's a very, very high profile and well known solicitor. I don't think a man like Mr. Holt could afford the services of someone quite like Sir Thomas.
Do you have the name of the solicitor on record in your files?
Yes, certainly. He says it's a Edwards, Mr. Edwards.
That answers one question.
So Rathbane is the prosecutor.
Balls.
No, I don't think so. He's not a prosecutor. Mr. Edwards has offices in Church Passage.
Right. You're going to the Edwards.
That's the defending attorney. How do you tie Sir Thomas into this case?
He visited the accused, probably to make sure and find out what he said, or even perform some necromancy on him. That's to be determined.
Well, no,
By investigating.
It wouldn't be able to perform any necromancy on him. There has to be a guild investigator with Mr. Holt 24 hours a day.
Well, perhaps you could ask her what he was doing there, Crusader. We didn't see that name until we left. Missed that opportunity. Oh dear.
I'm afraid the guild won't impart any information on that.
I was one of those ones I should have bloody thought of it when we were going into the bloody place, not when we were leaving.
We've been fairly thorough so far.
Apart from the things we missed.
How to damn with faint praise. You were doing all right, apart from all the things you got wrong.
That is like
Right, we need to go and see this guy Edwards.
We need to do quite a few things.
I want to go via the Old Bailey.
What for?
Because I want to talk to some of the clerks there and get an idea of this guy Rathbane in a professional capacity. Get an idea of what he's like. If he's a solicitor of any renown, then the clerks in the Old Bailey are going to know him at least in that capacity. We'll get some sense of the man before we even go near him.
Just to clarify, Phil,
Mm-hmm.
is Sir Thomas Rathbane at Houston Square.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Want to censor the man.
For
Because if we go if we go straight at him, I think we are going to get snookered. So
I'll
Yeah.
make a list and put it into the
I have made many notes. We've got a lot of leads and not so much time to potentially follow them all up. So
Well,
we need to
Edwards-
prioritize.
Edwards is first and foremost. Let's get his actual solicitor and let's get the case from his point of view.
Yes.
As little as he knows, he might have been able to speak to Holt before he got drugged up.
I wouldn't say keen, but I'm interested to actually interview some of these sex workers and actually hear what they have to say, because from what I know, given their status in society, they could have made anything up about them as to what they said.
They could have indeed. Certainly, there's a financial incentive.
Indeed.
I am formulating a possible sequence of events, but we need more evidence before I. But yeah, they could easily have been paid to lie, especially by someone as rich.
And then there's also this thread in that Miss Reed, this nurse, also used to be a sex worker and seemingly recognized the body.
Yeah, I find that incredibly convenient. Not impossible, but very convenient.
Yes.
yeah, there are a couple of leads here, I must say.
There are a couple of places to check. We need to check his home.
Check his home, go to Holborn, interview some people. Get some info on this Rothbane.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be a 4-way split, potentially?
We've still got time. We've still got days.
For the moment,
Yeah,
but days
okay,
can
yeah.
slip away. Especially if people start noticing our investigations and want to hinder our activities.
Then we go with our usual plan A. We all stand behind Mrs. Roscar while she gets the shotgun out. It's
She can shoot the police later.
I can.
don't give her
Okay.
ideas.
Well, that was one of the things I was clarifying with what's her face. I don't think I ever got a straight answer though. Like, it could have just gone in and killed the accused, and then it never stood trial.
Yeah, I did wonder actually at the beginning when you were saying, do you want him acquitted or do you want him in it? I was thought he was going to break him out of jail there, actually.
That was the second option. Well, first one was to kill him, so he wasn't found guilty. Second one was to break him out, and the third one was to do all this bloody legwork. That's why it was number 3 on my list.
Oh,
How do we find a person innocent? Shoot him!
it's like the
If he
witch
don't
trial.
It can't
I
be
was just
found.
about
You're
to
not
say, like the
guilty.
witch trials, yeah.
Yeah,
If
it can't be
he-
found
she's
guilty
drowned,
if
she's
he's not
innocent.
there.
If he blows apart into millions of pieces, he's innocent.
Mm.
Well, he doesn't
Yeah.
stand trial. He doesn't get proven guilty. That's why I was checking what was most important.
Very thorough review.
Ultimately, well, originally when you asked that question, I actually thought if you were asking, was it more important to simply get him acquitted, or was it more important to find the guilty party,
Yeah.
which would prove him innocent?
No, I was working out if I could just shoot him.
But in all seriousness, we could do a 4-way split if we have, let's say, one of us going to find out about Rothbane, one of us going to, where was the other place in my notes I'm meticulously working on?
Church Passage, because somebody needs to talk to Edwards,
Church Passage,
actually-
yes.
his actual solicitor.
Yes.
Someone needs to go to his house and
His house, and Miss Reed as well, and Johansson at the morgue, potentially.
got a feeling the morgue we might want to all do together in case that goes south.
Oh, you
That's a
think it might
good
go
point. There are
smooth?
lots of corpses there.
Yes, exactly. You know, we do have to operate on the possible assumption that the coroner's the necromancer.
Or indeed the victim.
It's a good job if you want to be a necromancer. I've seen that.
Yeah, he's going to have a nice steady supply of more.
But
Mhm.
what if that was the victim who just wanted to get near all the corpses? Oh,
Got
bugger.
him.
That's why I think
I
if
don't
we're going-
entirely follow, Mrs. Roscar.
if we're going to that clinic, we go as a group.
Fine.
We can't do that singular. If we go in there singular and it goes south, there's no way you're going to get out.
Hmm.
I say no way you're getting out, because damned if I'm going in there myself.
You'll be fine.
Oh, Euston Square, not Houston.
Houston, yes. Sorry.
Ah,
Yeah,
it's-
Houston
my
is
goodness.
American.
That's why I was confused. It's like, I don't know, a Houston Square in London.
Although, if you go to America, they say in New York it's pronounced Houston,
Yeah,
and that existed before Houston in Texas.
yes, indeed. So are we going to do some sort of split to begin with and then go to the morgue? What about the other two of you?
Do you want to split? Where do you want to go? Who's going where?
I'm going to go
gonna
to the Old Bailey.
to the studio.
Studio. Okay.
So,
I might
Mrs.
go
Ross,
and speak to Edwards.
Then I will visit the sex workers and see if they have anything to add.
Mhm.
Wish me luck
Thought you'd
if I.
take that.
you're taking a chest.
Oh, do you now?
Taking a
I'm not
chest
back in
Mrs.
2 hours. Send a search party.
Mrs. Roscar was not the only person who had that thought.
Okay,
I
then.
assume they're all humans. I'm sure I'm not even their type.
Not all human.
Oh, I
No.
don't know. I think you're probably working class enough to have actually worked to have money, if you see what I mean.
I am
Definitely
middle
their
class.
type.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry,
Lauren.
it's just the accent.
Lawrence, may I ask a personal question?
Yes, you may, Mr. Chamberlain.
Do you earn a wage?
Of course, I earn a bloody wage.
Then you're their type.
Just because you acquire yours through other means, it's still a wage.
I earn mine, damn it. It's hard work.
The irony of the upper class top in our group actually earning his own money, not paying people to do it for him, like I do.
You turned the pyramid upside down.
Okay, so if we want to start off, we'll start off going clockwise, shall we? So we'll start with Mr. Clarkson.
Yes.
So you go to the Rookery,
Yes.
which is a very down beaten part of Seven Dials.
Mhm.
And you're just you get out of your cab and it pulls off, and you're standing in a very dirty street. There are people around, and there are women standing around on street corners, and people going about sort of daily business. And women occasionally will approach people walking past. How are you going to handle this?
I'd probably go into a prominent pub to start with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there'll be some in the area, yeah.
And oh yeah, I mean it's going to be tedious work, but I'm going to just start asking around, specifically about who saw this Laura getting picked up last night, etc., etc.
Okay. So if you ask the barman this, you'll be overheard by some women standing at the bar drinking gin, and they say, "Oh, if you want to pay for that information, then I might know who you're looking for."
Well, there are plenty of other people here, and I'm sure there were plenty of people here last night.
Okay.
It's not what's the name again, is it? With the whole gin malarkey.
No.
Okay.
If you've not seen this person before,
Would a drink suffice?
that would be lovely. Things. We'll have 4 gins.
4.
Well, one for each of us.
Oh, I didn't realize that there were more company. Very well, 4 gins.
What do you need to know?
Well, I am looking into the disappearance of a sex worker who works around here. Laura, somebody
Laura.
in my notes.
Yes, dear of her. Yes, she was found down by the docks.
Yes, St. Catherine's Docks, but I want to know what happened before then. She was apparently picked up by somebody in a cab.
Yes, you will need to talk to Polly.
Yes, I have heard that name.
Here, Jim, and she'll call over the barman. And she says, "Get the lad to go and get Polly. She's out on the street somewhere." And he goes, "Oh, I'm not a service for you bloody women to come in and just get my staff to go running all over the streets."
This is a murder investigation, sir. Are you obstructing the law?
Oh, you a peeler?
I prefer to be a bit more nuanced than that.
"Oi, lad," he says, "go and get Polly." And there's a kid will run out, and a few minutes later, this older woman come back in, wearing quite disheveled clothes, and she says, "The lad said someone wants me near Jim," and he points at you, and she walks up to you and she says, "Oh, hello, dearie. You're looking for a good time."
Maybe another life. But I'm happy to get you a drink. I just need to talk to you about Laura.
"Oh, yes. What do you need to know about Laura?"
What is your poison?
"Oh, I'll have a gin, please."
Is that all there is here? Does nobody drink anything else?
"Or some beer."
Fine, you can take both of them.
"Oh, lovely."
And I get a little table somewhere a bit more secluded.
Okay, she'll follow you over. And she says,
Yes,
she says, "Lord was killed by that sculptor fellow."
Well, that's what I want to know a little more about, you see, because I hear that you were the one who saw her getting in a cab with him last night.
"Yeah, I did, yes. Yeah, she went off with him. Off to he invited her to some party or something, I believe.
Go on.
Just she said he was going to show her a good time, and there was a party at Bacchus or something. She said, and they went off.
Ah.
They went off in that handsome cab. The one that Grissom drives.
Who drives? Sorry, who is this person?
Grissom, Arnold Grissom. He's a cabbie.
Does he have his own company, or is he just well endowed by patrons?
It's just him in his cab. He owns a green hansom, full enclosure one, so he gets hired by.
That's
He's a
very
popular choice on rainy days.
And this Bacchus place, I presume it is some sort of is it a place to do debauchery, get merry?
I don't know. I don't know. Sorry.
Would you happen to know where it is?
Oh, I don't know. No, don't know. Never been there.
And when you saw her get in, you don't think this man behaved oddly in any way? There wasn't anything about him that you suspected?
No, he seemed quite normal, just like his usual self.
From my kind of general knowledge, which is a 3, would I know that Bacchus kind of relates to sculpting and stuff like that?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. One final question for you, Miss Polly.
Mm-hmm.
This man and Laura seemed to have at least some sort of an acquaintanceship with each other. Did they meet with each other regularly? Did he take her there often?
Yeah, he seemed to quite like her. If she was here when he came around, then he'd take her off. If she wasn't, then he'd go for someone else. He comes around at least every weekend.
Every weekend. And did they always go to Bacchus?
I don't know.
That may be a question then for this Mr. Grissom. But you've certainly been very helpful.
Well, he uses Grissom because he lives over in Holborn, I think.
Yes, indeed. Not too far from here.
No, it's not. I think he tends to frequent. If you're looking for him, he tends to frequent Red Lion Square. There's a street vendor there. He likes the food.
Very well. More and more leads. Okay, I'm gonna just quickly query with the barman to see if he knows where Bacchus is and if I can get an address.
What are you talking about, mate? Have you had too much to drink? Never heard of
Obviously
it.
not. It's only 1:05 in the afternoon.
He looks around the place and everyone in here is fucking drunk.
Yes, but as you can see, I'm not your regular clientele. I'm just simply looking for an address.
No, I've never heard of it.
Very well. No tip for you.
No.
Yeah, I think for the moment I'm done here. I might kind of scan the area just to see if there's any kind of physical clue, but I'm half expecting there not to be.
What,
But we
inside
need-
the pub or outside?
More outside the pub,
Okay.
like where. I mean, I might ask Polly actually where she was picked up, that kind of thing, and just see if anything was dropped.
At
Maybe
the end of the street.
Okay. Yeah.
And as you leave the pub, there's a huge oxman, beastman, oxman blocking your way, and he's flanked by a couple of beast folk. He says,
Excuse me.
"Hang on a minute, mate. You're asking a lot of questions.
Yes, and excuse me.
You're keeping my girls off the street."
He fishes into his pocket and gets out his warrant card. I have every right to ask them questions.
I don't know what that says.
It is a
But-
warrant card. I can get people arrested as a law-abiding citizen.
Oh, Peter, yeah, on my patch. I'll have you know I pay protection for this sort of thing. You're in trouble, mate.
Well, that's lovely, but you'll be pleased to know that I have donated lots of alcohol to them, so they'll be nice and loosened up for any type of
Well,
work
that's no good to
later.
me. I need them out on the street working.
Well, then get them out working. I'm trying to get out.
You've cost me money.
How much do you need?
Let me see. How many did you talk to?
Just Polly.
Just Polly. Okay. Well, yeah. Give me a shilling.
I'll give you 2 shillings if you also leave me alone.
Right. And what's your name?
You won't know me, but I am a station master up north.
Up north, right.
Lawrence
Keep an eye-
Clarkson, Esquire.
Right. We'll keep an eye out for you
It's
again.
Mr. Soul, initial R.
Don't you come around here causing trouble again, or you're not going to get off like the next time.
For your information, I am investigating the murder of one of your workers. So, if anything, I'm doing you a favour by preventing more of them getting murdered.
He's not. No more's going to get murdered. That guy's going to hang.
Well, that may be, but actually, no, I won't say it. Will you excuse me, please?
And he'll let you pass. And you go. And you'll rub the 2 coins together. Come on, lads. The drinks are on me.
He tries desperately not to say anything because obviously they're big and burly and have giant horns and stuff.
Over to Mrs. Roscar. Where were you going?
I was going to this guy's studio.
You go to the studio. Okay, yeah. So you go over to Red Lion Square.
Mm-hmm.
You find his house. Yeah. It is actually locked up.
Is it busy?
Not particularly.
You see, it's the thing about sounds. When they're made, if it's just one sound, people don't look. It's like you'd have to make repeated sounds before people come to investigate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I shotgun the lock. He's not going to need it. He's in jail.
There's a big hole appears in the door and it slowly swings open.
I mean, it considers to me to like maybe knock and see if someone's in, but only afterward. I walk in.
Yeah, you crunch over wood splinters all over the hall floor.
God, someone should clean that up.
And you can proceed to search the house, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So you search the house. Downstairs is his studio. He's downstairs because he obviously, being a sculptor, he brings in quite largish lumps of stone. And downstairs is you can see his studio, and he's working on several pieces. There's some finished pieces, part finished pieces, and Lady Miriam was correct. He is actually quite good.
What is he like? Actually sculpted a plough or something? difficult shape that they always seem to ignore.
No, he's not done anything like that.
No.
Obviously.
So, another one.
You go upstairs to his private apartments. You go upstairs to his private apartments, and it's obvious.
Sorry.
Right. What was that?
Damn it, Phil, get some new headphones.
Well, they are new headphones.
I don't think it's the headphone. I think it's like the socket or the cable or.
This is a new cable. I had actually found the new
Well,
cable.
then it's your socket on your tower then, surely.
Because like you go through headphones and we always have buzzing. It's just the buzzing's different depending on the headphones. Is it always like a one of these?
Yeah.
Hang on, don't answer. Now you can answer.
Yes.
Right. Try some USB headphones then. Maybe that's the answer. Because like it's not all the time. It's just like it's just infrequent enough. Although tonight has been weirdly frequent, but it's like every session will go off once, and it's always horrid.
Oh, okay.
And I mostly
I changed the cable and I thought it had gone away.
Well, because there was a time when it was really bad, and it did get a lot better, but it would still happen, like usually once a session type thing, sometimes twice.
Okay.
I wonder if it's the socket on the computer or the motherboard or something, and maybe a USB one will go through a different thing.
Might be.
Or it could be interference. Could be something nearby. Like it could be like
you could have your phone nearby or something.
No.
Well, it doesn't need to be a phone. It could be like there's a dodgy police CB radio in the area or something.
Well, yeah. There's nothing apart from the light. There's nothing actually electrical on in the room apart from the computer.
It's in the walls. It's
Yeah,
watching you.
It's the granite degrading. That's what it is. Releasing what do they call it?
Asbestos?
No. Radon.
Radon. That's from uranium or from thorium.
You get radon from decaying granite. It's a big problem. You get radon detectors.
I didn't. Yeah, no, I know it's a big problem. It's a big problem in Northampton because we've got uranium deposits. Kind of depends on the half-life. See, if it's a short half-life, it would be a thorium source, and if it's a longer half-life, like 12 minutes, then it will be uranium. So it must be the uranium or thorium in the granite. I don't think it's the granite itself, because the granite itself isn't radioactive, therefore it's not.
No, it's possible uranium. There is uranium deposits in the area.
Yeah, so from thorium, it's like a 45-second half-life or something. Thorium is actually more radioactive than uranium. But of course, consequently, the half-life is shorter. Runs out quicker. So there you go. Yeah, we have a lot of radon here as well.
Well, hopefully it's not that. And it's just a case of your socket's a bit funny.
I think probably it's the socket's more like. Yeah, his private apartments have obviously been searched.
Right. It's what I was thinking. But have the searchers left a clue as to who they were?
Well, it's probably the police.
Well, yeah, if there's ticky tape, it was the police.
Yeah.
But if there's things thrown everywhere, then it was
The police.
somebody else, also the police.
So there's no, what clues are you looking for particularly?
Well, I mean, I've had one. So I'm going to go through his paperwork. Has somebody left him notes? What was it? Has he got a diary? What were his plans for the evening? Are there symptoms of necromancy in the place? I doubt it, but has somebody come in looking for something?
Okay, you can see no necromancy or magical paraphernalia
What about his book collection?
Mostly art books.
What a boring bastard.
But you do read his diary, and for the night in question, he has got a appointment at
House of Brackus or something.
Bacchus.
a club. Let me see, what's the name? There. It's not particularly how the East End women were pronouncing it, but that's as close as they could get. But there you go. It's an exclusive club, and it's in. Where is it to? Apart from London. Okay, I can't find where it's to at the moment, but it's an exclusive club.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I shall grab that. And then let me see. Anything else to do here, really? Search the kitchen. Sometimes people hide money in kitchen. No, I don't need money. Yeah, okay. Well, I've kind of seen everything, I guess.
I think you have.
Yeah, wasn't
So,
a lot here,
Down
apart from the
to
actual name of the club.
the real name for the club, yeah.
Yeah.
She only overheard, there was overhearing things and got mixed up.
Right.
Mr. Chamberlain, where
Yes.
you're going to see the lawyer.
No, I went to the Old Bailey. I'm going to get some idea about Rathbane. No, Archibald has went to see Edward.
Yes. Okay, you can go to the Old Bailey. You ask about Sir Thomas.
I ask it under the guise that a friend, because I'm asking the clerks. I just explained to them that as a friend of mine, maybe in a bit of legal trouble, I'm looking for a good barrister. Price isn't a problem. I'm looking more for competency. I've heard about this guy, Rathbane. What do you think? Is he a good attorney, or is he priced beyond his ability?
He is one of the best you could get. If you can get him, he's expensive. He's hard to get hold of because he's always busy. But yeah, he can sort any sort of problems you've got.
Is he, out of interest, is he trying a case at the moment? I would love to perhaps watch.
He's pretty much spends most of his time arguing cases before the court. He's probably in court now or preparing. One of the two.
If he's in court, I'm going to go to the viewing gallery of that particular court.
Okay, so he is in court.
Gives me a chance to actually A, identify him, B, get an idea of his demeanor and just how bloody smart he might be.
Okay, so you watch him during his the case he's in. He is very good. Being an Aldrin, though, you even though he can he looks human, he is actually an Aldrin. But he's somehow got the ability to grow facial hair.
Interesting. Interesting.
Is there a description of him? No, I can't see it. But yeah, he's very good. Very good. And his summing up is really good.
Okay. I'll leave, obviously, sort of bowing as I head out, proper court etiquette. And talk to the clerk again, because they'll have a list of the dockets.
Yeah, okay.
Because a high-profile case like we're investigating could possibly be one that is being heard at the Old Bailey.
It is
Which
being
means-
hard. Old Bailey.
Yeah, which means we will know not only who his defense attorney is, we'll know who the prosecutor is.
Okay, so yeah, Sir Thomas has nothing to do with the case.
Yeah. That asks so many questions, but obviously the clerk's not going to be able to answer. I'm going to take a note of the name of the prosecutor. Could always lean on him if things get too bad.
Okay, Reynolds is the prosecutor. Reynolds.
If I thought that would work.
Is there anything else you need at the court?
No, I just wanted to get a sense of the guy.
Okay, over to Mr. MacCormick then at the offices of. I wrote it down. Oh, Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, I'm really trying to assess what kind of lawyer he is. If he is an office lawyer or an hired one.
Okay, so yes, you go into the office at Church Passage. He is human. He is young. He is very rushed. He is overworked and stressed.
Okay, an office lawyer.
I haven't got much time, but what can I help you with?
Yeah, I'm here about the Holt case.
He looks around his desk, moves a few files and pulls out a file. Yes, I've got that one here. That's a few days' time. I've got to read that in a minute.
Oh boy. Since he's a friend of mine, I assume you are not yet working on his defense, are you?
Oh yeah, we're working on his defense. I think we again?
Yes, sorry.
Sorry. Oh dear.
Oh, it's gone now.
I don't know what set it off. Nothing moved. Nothing moved at all. Okay, I'll have to get that sorted out. Sorry about that.
Yeah, don't worry.
We're working on this case. We've obviously got two options with this. One is that he's not actually a necromancer; someone else did it, or he's insane of some. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying not to insult anyone's profession here.
But
do you have any proof that?
Well, the only proof that I can read, and he starts looking for the file, that I can see is a distinct lack of proof. He doesn't seem to have. There's nothing tying him to the actual scene of the crime.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Here it is, my business card. If you need anything or you come across anything that you deem worthy of sharing, please give me a call.
Yes, certainly it will do. Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
Yes, thank you.
This dumb fuck. Yeah, I found a lack of evidence. Yeah, no shit. Dumbass.
He hasn't got time to investigate stuff. He's
Yeah,
that rushed.
sure. A public defender. Okay. By office lawyer, I meant public defender.
Yeah,
Because
he's court
I literally,
appointed.
yeah, I literally translated that from Italian, and that was
Yeah,
nonsense.
Oh,
But I couldn't
better
really
not
point
to-
my finger
that's better.
toward
That's
the right.
better than I could do in the opposite
translation.
direction.
yeah, he's court appointed. This is
Yeah.
not good.
All right.
So you can all meet afterwards.
So basically, our new friend is screwed.
It's up to what
Sorry?
you can do. It's up to what you can do.
It's very
Yeah, I
it's
was
an-
just gonna say it's fucked as long as we're not able to do anything on its own. It's as good as dead.
You can get together at the end and share what you've learned
yeah.
and plan your next move, where you're going to visit next.
Mhm.
I think we should go to this here club and see what kind of malpractice they've been up to.
So yes, you have the club, the autopsy.
Clinic, yeah, the clinic,
Yeah.
morgue.
We've got Mr. Grissom.
And still, there's still the Mr. Grissom and the newspaper.
Which one was Mr. Grissom again?
He was
He's the
the
cabbie.
green cab.
Cabby.
Yeah. If we can't find the address of the club, you'll have more info,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
What was the? Well, it said it was exclusive, so actually, the address is probably not common knowledge.
Might
What
have
was
to
the
get it from the
newspaper
cabinet.
thing?
Sorry, newspaper.
What was the newspaper thing?
Well, the it's been reported in the newspaper.
Oh, that. Right, I wasn't sure if you meant something separate.
Oh, again?
Yeah.
It's pretty bad tonight.
Okay. Well, we can call it a night there anyway if you want. It's 11:10.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
It's rather late.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have to think about what you want to do next time.
Yes.
All right.
We want to kill people
No.
legally.
I killed a doorknob
Kill
today.
the lawyer.
I thought Giorgio was ready to kill somebody.
Yeah, I'm really on edge. You could say that. I mean, this case makes me so mad in real life. It's not even me role playing. I'm just mad.
Oh no, there were moments tonight where I wasn't role playing at all. I was
Same.
that was me.
All right.
I squared up to some Oxman pimps as well.
Yes, you did. You paid him to get drunk.
Why does that kind of stuff always happen to your characters, babe?
Well, he went to the
Just lucky, I guess.
He went to the rookery. He went there.
But like, do you remember when you raided like Prince King King's house? You know, that was Jayson again.
Yeah, but that's because I had that sort of background link with Prince King.
Yeah.
But you're
Like
right,
we
it
all
also-
raided it. I was
But
just kind
my
of
point is, this kind of stuff always happens to your characters.
what sexual stuff.
Yeah.
It's called world building.
You know, it was you that was in the penis rocket flying to Venus. Wasn't one of the others.
I had children to take care of.
Doing your best God, what's his name? Amazon guy, Jeff Bezos impression.
Yeah, anyway, shall I cut the broadcast so you can stop
Yeah,
talking
cool.
about me and penises?
But I
Yeah,
can go
she's
to bed
next
as
time.
well.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Why?